If you think of yourself as somebody who's intuitive or psychic, or this is something that's interesting to you, that pulls at your attention, there are 4 essential decisions that you need to make to help to affirm to your subconscious mind that you are an intuitive, connected receiver. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a 4th generation intuitive, and I teach you how to plug back into your innate divine self, your intuition. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click that little bell notification because I release new videos every week. And this week, we are talking about the 4 essential decisions that you need to make in order to superpower your intuition and develop your psychic sense. So let's get into it. Our first decision that you have to make is to be open to intuitive psychic guidance. Now, this is absolutely key because if we are not open to intuitive or psychic guidance, there is no way that you're gonna be able to receive or even pay attention to the subtle frequencies that intuition and energy speaks in. When we say, I am open to an intuitive guidance, what this does is this creates and puts our frame of mind to pay attention and to connect as an intuitive receiver. Now, I think about this often with my clients or people that I know, people who are closed off, closed-minded, decided the way that it is all there is to know. They're not gonna get anything because the thing also about intuition is it's not gonna override your free will choice. So if you're not even open to the fact that you are intuitive, you're not even open or receptive to intuitive guidance, there's no way that you're gonna get it. So our first decision that you're gonna make is, I am open to intuitive guidance. Now, our second decision might feel a little bit more radical, but it's not at all. And the second decision that you need to make is to expect intuitive guidance. Now, if this is something that's new to you, you're like, wait, how do I'm still just trying to even find my way around this world. Recognize, first of all, that you are inherently a psychic intuitive being. And the channel that you receive your intuitive psychic guidances is through your soul. And your soul lives in your physical body. And how we can often think about it is that, one, it's completely natural. We pick up on vibration all the time. Just like bats have radar and whales have sonar, you too are sensitive to the subtle energies and frequencies around us. And when we can start to expect intuitive guidance just as a natural part of ourselves, as something that happens that, and you can even look and check in, where have you gotten intuitive hits? Where was the last time you had an aha moment? Where were those nudges, those different ways that showed up? When we expect intuitive guidance, we start to place our attention not on this realm, but on our higher selves. This is the portal of where we can actually listen. And if we can think about it as your soul that came in, that breathed in, the first moment that you took your breath, your spirit, your soul came right into your body. And the way that we think about intuitive guidance, you can think of it as like you are a radio receiver. And the band, the channel that you are tuning into is your intuitive self. And you can think of it as your soul is what gets it and your body is the instrument. This is where it registers. That's why you say, I had a gut feeling. And where our intuition resides in our physicality, not up here. And when we expect intuitive guidance, we make this leap of where, like I said, we shift our attention. And instead of, where we put our attention and intention to receiving guidance. And that immediately puts you in a listening state. Now, the third one that is so keyly important, and I see it all the time with my different clients, with different people, is that you have to act on your intuitive guidance. Now, we often don't act on our intuitive guidance because sometimes it goes against either appearances that we see, that our ego, how we see the world around us, or sometimes even our own beliefs, things that we thought were true and that our intuition might challenge us. And if you are not acting on your intuitive guidance, if you're getting all these little subtle frequencies, all these little these nudges, these ahas, and you sit and you think about it and you overthink it, or maybe you ask Peter, Paul, Sarah, Joe, Joseph, the guy down the block, the bodega, you are placing your attention outside of yourself. And even if your intuitive guidance was totally right, it ends up just being more information where we get stuck in overthinking. Now, when we act on our intuitive guidance, not only does that affirm to ourselves that I value what my intuition and what my spirit is telling me, and I register its counsel as something that is valuable, and I am acting on it. And that is a huge shift. And that is the shift that we need to really move from living a life that's through our ego lens of like this much, because the ego doesn't have access to our intuition, doesn't have access to anything that's beyond this physical plane. Now our spirit, our intuitive self does. And so when we can even think about some of these different questions, it's like, am I open to intuitive guidance? Is this something that I'm receptive to? Ask yourself, check in. How do I feel about thinking of myself as an intuitive person? Does it feel weird or strange? Does it make me want to explain myself? Do I feel confident in that? Do I expect my intuition to work? Do I expect to get intuitive guidance when I need it? These are really important questions. And then also just checking in, when I get intuitive guidance, do I act on it? So for example, you can think about if you've ever walked or gone on a date. Maybe you've gone on a blind date and you set up and you really are wanting a relationship, and you sit across from a person who is so attractive and on paper has every single thing that you would want. But as soon as you sit down, you get a vibe. You're like, something feels off. I don't know what it is. According to this piece of paper and according to everything that I see, this should be fine. Do you trust what your vibes are picking up on? Or do you choose what is more comfortable in the moment because of what you want? We do this often in relationships. I see it all the time, of where we ignore what our vibes are saying in order to support what is an old belief. So when we act on intuitive guidance, when you're sitting, you say, I just have a vibe that's off. I don't need to explain it. And it might also not line up with what we're experiencing in the moment. And that's another reason why we discount our intuition. It's like, this guy looks great, he's great on paper. Why I should just check it out. I should just go on a few dates. I should just X, Y, or Z. And should is a big word that comes up when it is our intellect ego. Should, have to, and must are all red flags, because that's not your intuition. That's your thinking, rational mind that's trying to discount what your body, what your deeper self is saying. Now, the last principle that we are talking about and really superpowering all of this. So now we are open, we are expecting, we are trusting the vibes that we get, right? That we're acting on it. And last is really that I trust my intuitive guidance. I trust what comes in as a decision. I trust the hits, the nudges, the little subtle frequencies that come in, even if it's not supported in this present moment of what my logic mind knows right now. When you trust your intuitive guidance, not only do you build a relationship back to your spirit, but what you're saying is, I trust myself. I trust my higher self. And the more that we make that decision, that what our ego mind, what it knows, isn't all there is to know, and that we can open up our receptivity to information that wouldn't be available to us if we only live from that place of our intellect. And this is in a way an act of surrender, of turning things over. And surrender can kind of be a tricky word, because it often can evoke this idea of like, I'm giving up. But surrendering, saying, hey, what my limited mind knows, like I said, isn't all there is to know. And I can open up to higher channels of support, of guidance, of affirmation that will always tell me the truth and always lead me to my best good. So when we trust, when we make the decision, because every time it's a decision, you are affirming to your subconscious mind, to your conscious mind, that you trust your intuition, that you trust yourself, you trust your vibes. And that will create a life that is absolutely extraordinary. It'll open you up to curiosity, to all sorts of things that would have completely missed you or passed you by had you been too tied into our ego self. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. These are 4 key decisions, and check in with yourself. Am I open to guidance? Is it something, do I expect it? Do I expect it for everybody else? Do I act on it when I get a vibe? Do I say, okay, like this guy has a bad vibe, or I can't go to the party because it just something doesn't feel right? Or do I end up explaining myself? And do I trust what I'm getting, even if it doesn't make sense in this moment? Do I trust my higher self? Do I trust my body to tell me the truth? And am I willing to be flexible enough, mentally, physically flexible enough to follow my intuitive guidance? So these are some really important keys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, check out my quizzes. I got a spirit type quiz, talk about your spirit and what you can really do to help care feed. I have a beautiful spiritual toolkit. This is with a guided meditation and workbook to unlock your intuition. And most importantly, if you're available, get a reading from me. I do 30-minute soul reads, hour-long soul readings, and I would love to connect with you. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I'm sending you all my love. Bye.